All right, we're live. We're live. Card.
Shalom. Start off by giving all glory, praise, and honor to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rukakadash.
fathers, to the apostles, elders, and great millstone. Salutations to the brothers that teach the truth. Shalom. Elect, earth, sincere listeners. GMS Toronto. All right, Prophets of Doom back again. That's right. Prophesied the downfall of this wicked kingdom. What is Babylon the Great? All right. And like I said, man, prophecies fulfilling itself. You have the cruel Lord, okay, making all type of rash decisions, causing your economy to crash, going to war with other nations, economic wars with Moab, right? That's a big thing that's going on right now. Pure chaos, chaos. See what I'm saying? Right? Yep. Where are you, Jakes, in the equation of all of this? Right? Still caught up on folly, right? Well, here your enemies are making moves against you, and you don't even know it. See what I'm saying? Such a cruel Lord, right?
It says, Isaiah 19:3, it says, the Egyptians will lose mind, penalty, yeah. They will lose mind or lose heart, and I will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits.
Yeah, Malcolm, right? That's right. That's all I was. But Malcolm is heavy. Sometimes. Gender. Oh, yeah. And that's what the guys that rule is. Right? Up at the pants to all sex people. Okay? All letters of the alphabet. There you go. Literally. Weirdo. Bestiality, Asian, bestiality, PDF, files, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, Asian.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, I was like, what is
Yeah,
that?
man. What else?
That's the God of this world, period. Right? That's why it says, read it from again.
It said they will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the day.
Right? Read above it. Yeah. It says,
Okay, fine. Okay, it says, verse 3, the Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans.
God, read your plan. Babylon the Great. It's all about, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they know it's going to confuse them. Because all they want to do is confuse people. Yeah. Right? So the Lord had to bring in, give them a dose of their own fucking medicine. Right? When it's not going to be witchcraft in Isaiah 47. Brother, you don't hold yourself, brother. Brother, we can have that. Know that witchcraft that goes into witchcraft failing, right? Call on to their, their idols, their gods, their mediums, and it's not gonna work, right? It will come to naught, right?
Right? It says, I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master.
Right? Cruel Lord. Yep. That's right. Oh, that's the document. You can make that. He's spearheaded by Donald Trump. Yep. Okay. He's the representation of the Lord, but really the true Lord really front to that leads, right? It leads of Esau, you have like freaking uh ministers of Esau, like Klaus Schwab. He'd be like a minister, like he's not really a top guy, but because his face is being shown. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So but he'd be like a minister, ambassador, right? So he's still on a certain level. Yeah. Right? He's gonna get the call. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But just like that. Yeah. Right. He's on the list to get the call in their world, right? We're focused on getting the call in the How about Shem Shai, right? At Karagma, we get that righteous sanction as mark of exemption for judgment, right? Those, right. People are slated for judgment, whether you know it or not, whether you took part in, exercise and witchcraft and sorceries and rituals, whether you knew you were taking part in it or not. But so the people that know that they're taking part in rituals, right, on a very low level, low level witches, right? They know that they're part of the ritual, but then there's people that don't know they're part of the ritual, but they're in the ritual, but they still got to get taken out by the Most High because of their ignorance and stupidity, right? Well, that's not the same. It's like at the right, right, yeah, people that they know that they're part of the ritual, and they have people in the concert, right? They may knowingly but unknowingly don't know that they're a part of the ritual, right? A lot of our people get caught up in that. Exactly. Right? Well, then, fuck it. Yeah, maybe some Jake guy. Jake can afford a Travis Scott concert ticket. You might have to go to shit. What I mean, Jake could have been smoother. And if we got fucked up, that's fucked up. That's all. We can afford it. That's what the scriptures say. Like people are soddage and not knowing. Not the knowledge is destroying or everything. That's right. So you got the people that know and people that don't. The people that don't know, you're destroying because you don't know the Most High. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, the Lord ain't gonna have mercy on you because you didn't know. Exactly. Right. You have more than enough time and chance to know. Yeah. Right. You find your hand. You don't want to hear it. So it is what it is. You must feel it. So it says, verse 4, I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them, says the Lord of heaven's armies. So it's not going to be a good time. It's going to be a bad time.
This is Jeremiah 8, verse 7. And it says, Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming, but my people do not know the judgment of the Lord. So this will show you the simplicity of people. They're very caught up in essentially work. They're caught up in what the celebrities are doing. They're caught up in everything else but knowing what time to live in, observing the time. I'm sort of say that without time to do it. Yes, right. Because the time to hang on to help us. Right? You can see
No, it's not like it. No, it's like that. No, this stuff is we have that it's hard to we want to find it. Put the place in there. But just now it has not the most section or there. Well, can't this times it is, but you to come on the government. Actually, you to come in to do this. When it comes over here, in terms of trouble. So the animals, like they know that there's times up, to migrate to their hibernation or all these things.
Right.
Right? But clueless, man.
Yeah.
it actually says that in the NP. It says, even
Bring it out.
Jeremiah 8, verse 7 in the Amplified, it says, Even the stork in the sky knows her seasons of migration.
That's right.
The turtle dove, the swallow, and the crane observe the time of their return, but my people do not know the law of the Lord.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, keys can fly south, fly south, and come up again. They know the times,
Yeah, so that's what you're saying also. Even like squirrels, they know to like certain hibernation because they know certain time of hibernation. It's not hibernation, but winter times.
Yeah.
So it's scarce. Right. So they observe these things, right? The animals are very intelligent. So our people, very, very simple.
No, brother, like the land that talking about is two-thirds part here. That's talking about the land of America. Imagine that's two-thirds of Israel. Land of America got it. It's called worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Serious. Because majority of Jake here ain't gonna make it, bro. Like okay, a lot of these lands like Jake is not gonna make it. Especially here in Toronto. I'll say that for the fact. It's not enough, bro. Yeah. At least I'm saying, if you're in America, you have a chance. You know what I mean? As an Israelite, you're on the 1/3.
Yeah.
You have a good percent chance to make it, man. Based off of mathematics, right? Like, but here already there no comfort Jake's out here, man. It's a dark place. No? What I did.
This is the book of Isaiah 47, verse 1. And it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans.
That's talking about America.
Gone.
Okay. Virgin daughter of Babylon.
That's right.
Okay.
Gone.
Stemming from the same practices, the same witchcraft that they took part of, but really it's an amalgamation of many kingdoms of the witchcraft that America like takes part in.
Gone.
Right?
Yep.
Right?
That's right. That's a good point. Also, why say reason why it says virgin is because also they haven't been dated
Right. Right.
before. So that's right. The virgin has been menstruated.
Yeah.
It says, you put the dust is confusion.
Yeah.
Okay, also Babylon, that was what the Hebrew word for Babylon, which means confusion, you know? In America, that's where anything goes, you know, everything goes, man. Yeah, different states, they have different laws. So you might be in one state and you think, you know, what you're doing is right, but actually it's
Yeah, that's true.
That's crazy.
you end up getting in jail because you know, in the home state that you were in, you know, it's legal, but in the state that you're in now, it's not legal.
And that's a snare too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a snare because here it is. You might think, okay, I'm gonna move to this state because it's cheaper,
Yeah,
right? Or whatever, you know, whatever. You know, like,
that's right.
and then you move there not knowing the actual state law,
Yeah,
right?
Come on, that's it.
So then you get caught up doing whatever you thought it was normal in your state, and you go to that state,
Right, yeah.
you get caught up fines, you know, criminal charges, who knows, right?
Yep.
Just based off of you, your ignorance and not knowing. So just thinking, okay, I'm just gonna safe here, right?
Yep.
That's a prison.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know, like our laws are simple, man. It's universal.
that's it, yeah.
You know,
That going into church 15 is right verse 16.
right?
For example, like for certain states, it's more in America, but it's not legal in those states.
Right. It's not illegal at all. No.
Look at things legal, but if you go to somewhere like New York,
Florida.
yeah,
No, it's legal in New York, but Florida, like the southern states, for sure now,
yeah,
they're not like all like Mississippi, Alabama, the real South.
yeah.
You know, it's not legal.
Not legal,
But they want to put Jake. They want Jake enslaved out here.
Yeah.
You know, that's but Jake love that shit. It makes you wonder, like, risk it. That's because, you know, you think just football numbers, just going to prison and that's for that. It's not worth it.
Yeah, so it says, for daughter of the Chaldeans, for now shall no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal, and cover the ox, make better leg, and cover the thighs, and pass it through the rivers.
Right? Right? You have the prophets out here, right? Exposing this place. And you also have truthers and shit like that. That even kind of go a little bit deeper than us in terms of what's going on in the system, but we use that information and we filter through scripture. So really they work for us. Yeah. Minor prophets that go into a lot of detail and stuff like that. But it's not for us to go through all types of detail. This one's to cover the basis of the scriptures.
That's right, yeah.
Right? And we filter whatever they bring out.
Yep.
Good information. Good information to know nonetheless. But we filter through the scriptures. They're in context that they work for us. People work for us. Okay?
This is Habakkuk 2, verse 16, and it says, thou art shamed for glory, drink thou also, that thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned to thee.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahshai, Shalakayah. Sorry, bitch.
Oh, hey, that's like the most I like that show.
That's right. Like that fucking Tesla on fire.
It says, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. What's going on? America, prophets were exposing what's happening. Realizing how abortion really is. Right? Bringing up things from past history, deception, right? And the things that we're realizing that this place is doesn't align. Right? So America's becoming essentially a graphic stock in the eyes of the nations.
Yeah, when you had like China, that video that the idea, yeah, China, like all these like like Americans, I put credit and do like all the jobs that are outsourced to other countries, like out America. Okay, and all the Americans like out there, and these countries like working like that, you know. You can't do that. Especially like you're American for that. Ultimately, that those things don't take, it's not come really.
Yeah, they had them looking all obese and shit.
Yeah.
So they're clowning you, fucking Americans.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
They're not lying.
yeah.
That's our
All obese and out of breath and moving all slow.
Yeah.
But you niggas gonna be outputting the same amount of work that the Mobites doing, which you're not, and they know that. So that's why they're bringing in the robots. They're gonna bring in the autonomous, warehouses and shit like that.
Yeah.
They don't need you niggas. Sloppy, obese ass Americans, mouth breathers. Yeah, oh yeah, right? Out of shape, out of time, it's only couch potato. That's what you guys are. Majority of that, right?
Yeah, verse 3 says, verse 3 says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man.
And another thing too, really, man, the hatred that these other nations have for the war, it's being built up. It's been built up. So for them, like their armies, their militaries, everybody's on one accord. They know why they're gonna blow America away. Smithereens. They know why. They've been saying to them. They've been an adversary unto them. You Americans that are in the military now, what are you fighting for? Look, everybody in the American military has their own agenda. Oh, I just want to true. I just want to get more discipline. I just want to be a man. I want to or I want to pay up. I want to go to school. I want to pay up my student loans. Right? I just want to move out my mom's house. Go to, like, right? Everybody has their own agenda, right? A lot of people just want to go to school, get a school page.
Yeah,
Right? Did you really want to bust butts? On the war front? No. Right?
for benefits.
Everybody, not in it for the right reason. That American military is based off of loftiness. Oh, based off of pride. Based off of pride. Biggest military on the planet. Right? That's why people want to join that. Till it actually comes. They actually not, right? That's the thing now. Right?
They're about that.
Right.
They're about that. Like,
what's our here? Like, that's the difference. Like, it's like, we do like a Hellcat.
Yeah.
You're
I have to give you a Hellcat. Yeah. Yeah, they'll do that. Recruiters, they come up to you.
that's true. Yeah. They will do that.
Yeah, they do all that. Jake likes that stuff. I don't get him. Yeah, he said he fucking like Hellcat is like an active military. They get like each Shirley inspector. Oh, that's for years. Right? It's a crazy bunch of people. Right?
They break down rules.
Yeah. It's EV now. I'm just saying they just continue the newer models. It's all EV now. So there ain't no Hellcat. No?
So in regards to that hate that these other countries have, America is actually moving as we speak.
Right.
This is some quick one. Sirach 22 verse 22, and it says, if thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for they may be a reconciliation, except for upbraiding or pride or disclosing of secrets or a treacherous wound. For these things, even every friend will depart. And I was reading this because even what America's doing is causing a treacherous upon these other nations. So, for example, China, they have all these bunch of tariffs that are being placed on them.
and on their foot retaliatory tariffs. And the same thing is happening with the EU. And we know from the prophecy that the EU nations are going to turn on America and scorch them with fire. Right? So a lot of these enemies, a lot of these so-called friends of America, they're going to turn on the war. Yeah, right. All the tariffs that's going on, if we need China, Japan, South Korea join in economic forces, and they're actually sworn enemies. You know, but that's how much they put their pride aside for their local beef because they hate the war that much more. You know, and I said to myself, hopefully this could become a military pact, military team up because hopefully Japan could get some loops out of this and launch it on the horse as well. Yeah, that's right. And to get some get back, you know? Some Ammonite get back, you know? You know? Even though they're all going down, you know, the nations are gonna be happy still. Yeah, that's right. When America's done at least. You know? And they're gonna still send missiles over. Yeah, we're gonna send missiles to America. Yeah, that's right, though. I don't really know. Lord, in the spirit, hopefully, certain like Germany, they don't have missiles on paper, but hopefully they can get some. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's interesting. Yeah. Because you see some writers right. They want their recompense also. Right. Right. Because what they did, they left the country on Japan. Right. So they still have that, you know, exactly. Yeah. Animosity in the spirit. Right? Yeah. So, their men off back, you know, backed up spiritually because they just fucking into hentai weird shit. You know what I mean? So they're not real men no more, but like the real men of Japan are like, yeah, it's restore order
Because they know their history.
Yeah,
They know their history.
you know,
So one time they were dangerous.
they were fucking playing, man.
They were dangerous. Because they're like the Nazis. Japan were doing the same shit the Nazis were doing. Lots of stuff the Nazis looked at. Japanese had no government, side government. They were doing the same experience that the Nazis were doing. Some fucked up shit.
Yeah,
So they're not like some people that just walk over them. No, it's just that the Lord set up Esau to be the bully.
Yeah.
But the bully in every movie always goes down.
Yeah, you catch a guy like World War II. Like that ship Tank America, this is Pearl Harbor. Like Tank America. That's
Yeah,
what America,
exactly,
like,
yeah.
from them back, right? So they actually come against the whole face.
Yeah.
So, okay, so in their mind, they actually they have that was actually fight back.
Yeah.
Okay, they was that's not like lay down. Right now, he's like, they done America has has a higher. No, yeah, like they got the upper hand.
Yeah.
Also, they go that hatred and that vengeance they take is a villain. Yeah. When I come back, actually, like I take Jersey, you that country, I'm like, it's America.
if America didn't have that bomb, they would have got fucked up.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's why they had to send it because they didn't want to do ground invasion on Japan. So they didn't know the terrain. Right? So if it was the head-to-head with Japan and America in the Pacific Ocean, and then maybe on land, it would have been different. But they had to drop that bomb. Like fuck it, I don't want you guys fucking. This is what we'll do. They'll take it.
That's a coward.
Right, coward is move, right? But it was all sanction of the Lord, right? Or not?
Yep. It says verse 4. It says the nakedness shall be uncovered. Second verse 3. The nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not repeat the land. When boy Yahushai. Yahushai, when it first came, it came in a humble, it came like a naked lamb. When it comes again this time, the second time, it comes like a power. It's coming with angelic force. It's coming as a lion.
Right.
So that's good. That doesn't show you that when the second when the Lord comes again, when we like oh kumbaya. We're gonna be like all chaos breaking loose, and it's actually going to intensify more. It's going to be the greatest. It's actually going to be the greatest event since creation. Okay.
Yep. Before your outside come, you're really men bringing spiritual power to fucking shit up.
Yeah, God. Yeah,
So like, they're gonna be like the heralds, right? One that opens up the outside, turn brothers on, and then like what the fuck going on? Like, we're a problem. Wait till our master comes. You think we're a problem? Wait till our master comes. Oh, bro, you guys are in trouble.
The apostle and elders be Muslim. That's cool. Yeah, was not getting the destroy that spiritual power. That goes on by Eric, right? That's good. During Jacob trouble, you don't need that. You don't need that spiritual power. You don't need that intervention.
Yeah, you're gonna need it.
That's what they say. We'll come down that great right? And that's it. That's how that's standard. Spiritual power. And without
Yes. This is animosity in the etymology. It says vigor, bravery, boldness, vigilance, bold, spirited. It says life, breath, active. Yeah. It says active, hostile feeling. That's it. Revelation 13, verse 13, and it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
That's right. So what that happened to Pearl Harbor dropped bomb and that's fire coming from heaven.
Yep.
That was something never before seen on the earth.
Yeah.
Okay? So that was their craft, that was their witchcraft,
Yeah.
that was them boasting and saying, hey, don't fuck with us.
Yep.
We're God now. Right? Yep. And everybody looked at it and said,
All right, man. Yeah.
right? You got it. That point, right? They're like, fuck you guys got it. Oh,
It's a weak group. It says, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, to say to them that dwell on earth, and they should make an image of the beast, which had by the sword and good.
basically, how this devil operates is ruled by the sword. That's it. Now the devil will try and talk things out. But if you niggas get out of line, I'm talking about people, Jake, even low level Edomites, you get out of line, they're just gonna bring out the sword, man. All your rights go out the fucking window. Your rights are a facade here. Doesn't mean shit. Okay? Because at any time when this place starts crumbling, if the anarchy, chaos, martial law, right? All them laws get exempt, and then there's what do they call it? Martial law, right? Where the laws don't apply.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Anything goes.
Your rights don't apply, right?
To the government.
Yeah. No? So whatever they say, go.
Yeah,
Drake, what do you call it? Draconian law, right? They could implement martial law to implement draconian law. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
Because I believe that I think it was South Korea or South Korea only this year actually had an martial reaction in the martial law for like 24 hours.
Yeah,
People are going crazy, man.
yeah.
And then they catch that. So we didn't bring it back.
Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah.
This book of Ephesians 5, verse 14 says, wherefore he said, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord Mashiach is.
Walking on your simple mind. Okay, like just be on low level skateboard. Like everything is all good. Like they don't hear the songs of Lord beat. What the fuck? I hear them. Brothers hear them? All clear. No? This right now what we're doing is war drum. That's spiritual, right? Sorry. Every time you watch another video, that's them being the spiritual war drum. Right? Just follow Tahar on down. All right, we're going the horn, right? Blowing the trumpet, right? But they want to be caught up in solid, right? Right? That's right. Understand the time that we're in. Because the weather kind of warmed up a little bit or whatever. So everything is all good now. Yeah, okay.
What do you think when they said something playing what's love, right? It is true. What's love is obedience. Obedience to Yahweh Yahushua. These guys want to do obedience to their flesh. Whatever they feel. I want to do it.
Right? Talking about somebody skating right in the back.
Yeah, it happens. Right? That's the most high. Right?
That's, yeah. Can't deny the spirit.
Yeah, that's clear.
Jacob yeah, yeah.
I know. Yeah.
That's there's more, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
says verse 18, and be not drunk with wine, where in excess, but be filled with the Spirit. Right? Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody
So
in your heart.
the point you said drop of wine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like just like if you're a soldier in the army, right? Let's say you don't get wasted. This is a war. When you're drinking, you're in war. There's enemies around you. You're gonna think that's a time to get wasted, right? I'm talking about the army, like spiritually. Don't get wasted with things like the war. Don't get drunk in the war. Don't get drunk in with your woman. Whatever the case may be, spiritually you want to stay sober, right? Because we're in evil times right now. But people, because they're in the world, they can't see it, right? They don't understand there's demons everywhere. We're working. Let's talk about evil rulers. In dark places and high places, right? Yeah, spiritual warfare, right? So this is shit we're dealing with.
Yeah, right.
So if you're in warfare, you're not supposed to be drunk. You're supposed to be sober. You're supposed to be alert. You're supposed to be circumspect. You're supposed to be like, what's the word? Like, have your head on the swivel, like vigilant. Yeah, right. Because at any moment the enemy can get you.
Yes, right.
That should have been taught from little bit. Walk that you're behind enemy lines.
Exactly.
Hey, son. Exactly. Got it. All right. This is not our land right now. It's not our rest. We're passing time. Nobody's passing by time. You gotta do what you gotta do with the society, but you serve our greater power and relieve us.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right. That's what you should have told your children from the moment they get sick. Right? That's why the scripture tell us to come into this as newborn babes. But that's what you should have told you. That's what we should have known. That's what we should have known this, right? But obviously we know that we were meant to be discontinued. Right? But what I say stands.
Yeah.
Right?
A whole man can't get this.
No.
Can't. Too old.
No.
Can't get it. I'm talking about spiritually old, not physically. I'm talking about spiritually old. Spiritual old man can't get this. He won't be like, what's this? I gotta do. It's like, it's too much.
Right. Okay. He already knows the world as it is.
Exactly.
You know, you're like watching the box TV, watching the news from them times there, and believing the news then. So he believes in the news now, but you can't change that. Like, CNN, 24, Fox, Jeffrey, Judge, fucking Judy. You know, that's it. Global television, right?
Yeah, that's just
No? So you coming up with that's some new wine. They ain't trying to hear that. Right? Heritage. To you, we're heritage. To them, we're heritage.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To them, we're coming with heritage.
Because you're talking about a new wine. I got this new wine. He's like, no, I've been drinking this wine for years.
Yeah.
But I'm not drinking this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking that shit.
Got it.
I'd like to finish up.
Point. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1. And it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. We're just talking about, a lot of our people that are essentially in an old mindset. They can't disregard what's already been taught to them. That's what the Lord, He wants us to do, right? Because He can program you in righteousness, brainwash us in righteousness, right? And actually give us that proper instructions on how to operate behind enemy lines at this time, right? And Paul even goes into that to having a certain type of conduct in Romans 13th chapter, be behind every enemy, right? And being circumspect too. So we say that don't be ignorant of anything great or small.
That's why. That's why we're supposed to try to peacefully all men decide, right? So you have to, your child, you teach them that. You know, they're other nations. You got to deal with them, so you got to peaceably, right?
Sure.
But there are enemies.
So at the same time too, as Paul says, like, you know, if man is to do right, but the heavenly Father is gonna make you enemies, he got peace with you.
All right.
It's basically like as long as your government is doing the right, you can rise and get us your shy, you're not gonna worry about it. Yeah, it's supposed to be like, you know, it's supposed to be out there, like, you know, like, drop, you know, like, drugs, you know, that's it's supposed to be like in the college, whatever, you know, it's going on. Just be out there, you know, go to bars next to late night. And you could do like, here and there, like, they want to do weekend.
In excess. Like,
Yeah,
exactly. We come in excess, and it's like, yo, you get to do all that, then stay away from the content. From the content, y'all about you outside. That's right. Right. The Holy Spirit, right? But can't be doing things in excess, getting drunk and revelry, out of revelry, right? Where it takes you out of you lose your spirit from your first love. You know?
It's good stuff, right? Like I'm before, like I'm not about election thing. You know, like over here in Canada, like they have the federal election going on. Like, yeah, like they call it here for the year. There are children kind of crowds, you know, like big crowds, you know, like following you. People are covered with that. And the thing I wanted to go, like, they go, they want to check out the Trudeau, bring out humans, but it's such a big thing. But I was like, this is all, you know, it's the same point.
Yeah, that's what they don't understand. And going back to that old wine, a lot of that old wine, they don't understand that. They really think that one, you know what I mean? Like two opposing parties, and one has one agenda and the other has another agenda, and they're gonna benefit. You choose the right one, right? It's like gambling. You choose the right one. That agenda, that party is gonna have the better agenda for you, right? You're gonna have your best interest at heart, right? It's all a fucking lie. They use both sides. They use both paradigms to bring forth their agenda. So they use the left and they use the right. That's right. Right? They bring forth right, far right measures. People rebel against that. Right? Then they bring forth the left. And then when people rebel against that because of the chaos that comes from the left.
That's it, exactly.
You know?
That's it. Like one that comes in and it does something, and another comes in and it doesn't. Like this guy did. It's a cycle. One comes in to take on the pulse and left, but the guy brought it.
Yeah.
And then it comes in and it's like, you know, he's sending out. You know, then they want the functions. There's no progress.
It's a sick joke, man.
No,
It's actually
no,
joke.
no progress at all. Like there's not good enough. It comes like tearing down. Then it's going to that. Yeah. My bills they tear down. And what's let's not completely tear it down. So there's no building, you know, there's no progress.
Yeah. Why do you run a society like that? Exactly. Why would you run a society like that? We're not gonna run a society like that. Whatever we say goes to law, this is the flourish, and this is the flourish. That's right. Nobody's gonna be no. And I'm gonna not have it. You know what I'm saying? Just not chosen. You know what I mean? It's just not chosen. You're gonna have it. You have no room eventually. Whatever, you know, you're dwelling and whatever, you have your own house, so to speak. Yeah, you're gonna be good. You have your family, you know, you're just not gonna be us. You might even be this at a good living standard. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which is probably better than this side that we're living in too. Oh, yeah, we're gonna be healthier and everything. You know what I'm trying to say? Like after 1,000 years, man, we're still gonna be fucking guys up. After 1,000 years, not as much. Right? Quick precept. It's not gonna be perfect. Still, even after 1,000 years, it's still not gonna be perfect, right? So we still have to beat their odds. Of course.
That's where the evil just got out to death.
Yeah.
They're gonna be going off. They're not gonna be following the laws.
Yes.
Right? They're gonna be doing that shit.
Right.
Just a quick one because we're talking about the two opposing sides of the stupid. Proverbs 14 and 15, Agent B says, "The simple simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going." Right? As wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confided. Right? So they're simple minded. That's why it's so easy for them to just do that. They don't consider, hey, you know, you've been going on for a while. Every time you pick this side, they'll give us what we want. If I take this side, they'll give us what we want. Yeah. It seems like none of them are really set to give us what we want. They're not really here to help us. They just get rich on people.
And guess who? Guess who's the most like in terms of woke? It's like people our age and younger.
Yeah.
These were like brothers, most brothers like are a certain age.
But for the majority, yeah.
The majority of the people that's hip to that this is all bullshit is the ones that's actually feeling the brunt of it because our generation before and our parents, they knew when Canada was good. That's true. And that's in their mind, like it's gonna go back.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? There's a certain generation of Canadians that knew when Canada was good, so they think it's gonna go back. They don't understand that it was never good. Was it? When it was good, it was good when we were kids, but we didn't have no economic quote unquote power to do shit or money to move around. So
We were taken care of.
yeah, we were really taken care of. But now, as we're adults, we have to fend for our own and do what we have to do. We're realizing this is some fucking bullshit. Whereas 18, 19, that's certain 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you already been moved out of your house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
18,
Oh yeah.
19 years old,
Yeah.
20 years old. And I know for a fact that I was my parents who been moved out. Yeah. My mom, or at least, whatever, she moved out by like 19, 20. You know? Because rent wasn't nothing at that time. That's what it was.
My dad even said that. He knows it. Yeah. Times that you're living in is run cheap out of
Yeah. Right.
house.
That house? That's like another mental stress right there. Pay the fucking rent and go
Yeah.
go about your business. You know, we're in hell. But you can't. In Canada, it don't make sense to fucking buy anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better to just fucking rent. It's cheaper.
Unless you're profiting off that land.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah, that's the only thing they benefit. Most people are not benefiting off their house or their hidden. Just for status food. You know what I mean? Status. Crazy to the men.
Yeah, yeah. You need to buy like you still got paying like tax on your property. So you're still renting anyways, you know. Like,
Yeah.
you still got pay. You don't pay tax on it if the things
Yeah.
taken away.
All right, yeah, let's just say you pay off your home.
You don't really own it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, you paid off your home. Guess what? Like you said, you still have to pay the property tax.
Yep.
Still have to pay house insurance. You have to pay for utilities. That being taxed. When you don't stop paying the taxes,
Yeah.
right? You got a property tax on that. Yeah. No? You gonna pay?
own the land.
Right.
Right? It's different. You can own the land.
Well, it's different. You can actually
Yeah, you can own land there. Here you can't do that. It's a property.
It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which have departed to the Lord our power Yahweh who died. We have to pay taxes, we have to work, when it's what's the level of conduct that we put ourselves in and out.
Hey, who has the will? But like, you're a certain individual that don't have the structure, the side set up, like working with people. Do what you can, but also try to work and build something up. You can, this is like, whatever, knowing that it's going to be gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point.
You know, knowing that it's all going to fade away anyways, but at least if you can maneuver without having to, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with doing all this stuff. It's for your mental peace, whatever. Or something else. Crazy.
Because Job was, what did you say? Oh, this is the Job movement, right? You got right? So the Lord might set up certain men to help with the brothers. It's not about we see brothers decay, right? Also, talks about that in 8. See brothers decay, it's help them, right? So some brothers might be sent in those positions to help other brothers, right? Yeah.
Also says like this, you know, like, as a man supposed to do to yourself.
Yeah.
This to do, So you're man, right? Supposed to like you have your own house, you have your own car.
Yeah.
I think they should like this feel like as a man, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with it, man.
Oh, right.
So like yeah, it's supposed to be we're supposed to be able to but what about the children?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's what we'll get them money. That's true.
No, that was it. That was it.
This is about Psalms 146 verse 3. It says, put not your trust in princes, or in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Like, you're looking for a lecture, like, just like one party. You come in, they think all that one part that they can think of the Bible. Not independence, but when they come power, they don't do that. Like in America, people that voted for Trump, they finding out that Trump's not for America. Trump's not in the elites. Lucky, people are going, for now, right? People are losing their jobs. You see?
That's what you're saying. Protests in Boston last week. Yeah. Because they're realizing Trump, he wasn't actually, he's not really putting people. Exactly. Right. So that what we're reading now is second of 15, that's the issue. Yeah. Right. They were not regarding case of their princes.
Wow.
They realized this guy's one of the SHIT. That's it, right? So,
Yeah.
just back here.
Yeah, exactly. Also, too, like in this party system, like going to like the party system, that's not righteous, man. You're supposed to like for things supposed to it's like a monarch. That's like it's like what the funds of monarchs like one family. Okay, through that, and then obviously like the help us set them up. Right? And we're supposed to basically have to righteous. When you have a person that you like do vote one person, and if you go to the party vote, there's like a divide amongst the people. Okay, you're Democrat about Republican, and like things get like even like nowadays when it comes to sit down and talk with food at the dinner table. Can we talk about politics? But people are divided amongst the families. Yeah. That's because we're about that two-party system. And that brings about division. Exactly. You see? If there's no unity amongst, at least with the monarchy, they have like one party, they have talk about. When you have the two warriors against each other, there's like two division. And that brings about confusion, man. No. Once we like, okay, like one party comes in again, it's like they have the right agenda, they bring the right agenda, which is like, most parties like, they go to like racist acts, they basically like, they promote white supremacy.
Yeah.
The left comes in, they promote like equality, all these things. It's always like, just like a constant, up and down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, bro. In regards to religion, why would you want to have an Egypt? Yeah, have to find something else I should try. Going back into the law, but Rob would have something like a kid with foundational. That's it, right? He's already, Trump doesn't resign for for Israelites, right? Oh, sure.
And you brought it up. There was an Israelite that was actually running at the time. He didn't go for it.
It was Samayam.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Forget his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah. No, no. You jinx are fucking stupid. Yeah. What the fuck? No, man. Anyways.
One more verse, think it out. And it says, verse 4 says, his breath goeth forth, returneth to his earth. It's a great day, his thoughts carried. Basically, like, you put in trust in man, you put it like, you put in both, you put in trust in man, this man's going to basically like, how you press his heart, you press it to the heart, that's foolishness. And that's nothing but basically like, basically, play yourself. These people are going to vote for this power. And like when it comes to power, then you actually they take away all your rights, take away all the privileges, or then you actually lose what you gain. Because it gets worse as time goes by. So you should by now you should know like this BS it's not how to help.
The only freedom they give you is to destroy you.
Yeah.
They're gonna legalize weed and all this shit. That's really just destroying, distracting.
Yeah, it could be not
Keep you in a sedated mindset, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You need to be drunk. You're actually, you know what I mean? Pretty much, you're not a threat anymore. You don't understand that fighting chance. If you're high out of your mind, how do you stand a chance against real ones? Right? I'm not high all the time. Oh, high all day.
That we can keep saying the real shit.
That's right. Yeah. You go down. Right over by sea. Right?
Yeah, there's something soon.
Revelation 13 and 11, and it says, I beheld another beast that came out of the earth that had horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. Right, so it's that two-party system. Here in Canada, you have the conservative liberals. In America, it's the Democrats, Republicans, same thing. In ancient Rome, you had Canadians, you had Christians. It's the exact same system, right? Back then, that's why the scriptures talk about how it is ruling under the sun. America has taken the tenets of Rome and then brought it into their own, incorporated it into their own system. But it was the exact same thing, right? And eventually they started to push a lot of heavy taxes, right? So that was it. Oh, that was
Get Isaiah 13. So that's one.
Big one. Proverbs 14 and 11, it says, the house of the wicked shall be overthrown, the tabernacle covering some words. That's wicked talk about the sun. Also, now, like the Israelites that are being with, right? They're going to be thrown down too. So, it says, verse 12, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Right? So everything, we're talking about, when you do anything outside of Yahweh, it's into death. And that's what I'm talking about, Shabbat, the nation started. That everything they're doing is still lead to them being destroyed. That's all it's happening. So they might seem great to them right now, or we can win or on top. Everything can't see that they're about to be destroyed. That's not right. The Lord said, "This is proud." When He's not with you, you can't see blind. Right? That's it.
Yeah. It's Isaiah 13, verse 1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift up ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake their hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right, verse 3 says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Yeah, that, right? Guns that denied Yeshua. All right?
Yeah.
God's chosen.
Right.
Started with the elect
Right.
of Israel.
Done.
Yeah, verse 4 says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts hosts the battle.
That's right. He's the one that's going to gather all you nations together with him. Well, you're going to have people switch sides during the war. And really, everybody's going to turn on America.
Yeah.
Okay, because that anti-American sentiment is being pushed out right now. So even amongst other so-called white nations.
Yeah. That's right. Europe.
Right?
Yeah.
European nations, you guys are going against the war of America. Right? Different government parties. You guys are gonna have a serious decision to make. Right? Really, when it comes down to Russia, gonna bully you, some of you nations into switch sides too. Yeah, but they're gonna be putting pressure on you. Right. You know for a damn fact you don't really want Russia to roll upon the European nations. Russia will crush Europe. Russia will literally step on Europe based on all the military stuff that they got. Because and even in all the wars, World War I, World War II, in Europe, Western Europe, wherever, Western Asia, whatever, they always got fucked up. That whole region always got fucked up. No? Every time. And it's gonna get fucked up again. No? So it's in their best interest for them. If you don't want Russia to roll through Europe, you better side with Russia. And which they're probably gonna do anything. Right?
That's why when a car goes down, someone has to put the spot. You have you always watching the game movies, and it's like someone dies, they feel like the game, and there's a power vacuum. So someone has to fill that spot. So if Babylon goes down, someone has to fill the spot. That's how it goes. Because you can't just have no one ruling. Right? That's worse than actually having a wicked person rule. Now it's like everyone's just like free for all. Right? The Earth will actually be destroyed. So you have someone has to come in there and establish the order, which is not making China thinks that's because China. It's not seeing that how the China.
That's right. That was far says they come from afar. Like it. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Even the Lord Yahweh was now shy of the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Listen, that's right. One country coming from the east, Russia.
Yep.
Okay, coming from China.
Right?
Right? The east with. Right? Right?
Yeah, verse 6 says, how ye
Iran. That's right. Yeah, put that sentiment out there.
That's true. The person is in me.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Right? That's right.
says, how ye the day of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai is at hand shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Yeah.
Sorry. That's right. Pride of these people, man. Think that everything will be all good. That's right. You know? That's right. It really, but it's really not that. It's not gonna take that much longer because between World War One and World War Two was like what 30, 40 years. So
Yeah, yeah.
no, okay, whatever. Let's just say 30 years, 30 years, right? It's 1960 when I finished, or oh, I lied, 46.
46, yeah.
1946 was finished,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Let's call it 1950. So it's 1950. So 7 years, one grandparent generation. One generation, 7 years. Another, you know what I mean? It's only so long that this place can go on for. That's the math of, you know what I mean? You really think about it. We're due for another war pretty much. Right? We're due for another world war. We're actually past due. No? Right, like yeah, approximately that. Small rewards, yeah. Eventually we can figure that.
There's a lot of countries on the planet that are in war right now that we're not even aware of. People in
Yeah.
it's like Congo, what's going on?
Congo's, yeah, Congo's fucked up right now.
We don't even know what's going on there.
Yeah. Rwanda trying to kick their ass,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That little small country, but they put pressure on Congo,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know? But they're being backed by Rwanda's being backed by Esau. It's a, they're being backed by Esau.
Yeah, Congress, right.
Because they know the Congolese that's there is Jake.
Yeah, yeah.
Most majority, good bit of them, whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Well, two things like we basically have like like two majority section of the people like this like the Hamites and so-called Bantus. The Bantus do the root to the church like yeah. Okay, and basically Rwanda, yeah, can even though like the majority of people there are Bantus, have like this 30, 22 to 30,
Right.
by America, by Europe, and all that. That's because actually that's exploiting Congo minerals.
Yeah.
Right? So they use them to take their diamonds, okay, their cobalt, right? In order to push minerals so that they can actually ship it to America, to Europe, or to Saudi Arabia, right? And by that, then they give them power to be able to basically rule over the majority of the people. Actually, that brings about chaos and this animosity, and that's why these two tribes or these two different two different nations actually are warring. You know, so we're going to say more as we go further.
Yeah, that's pretty much goes into Esau and Habakkuk because really he wants the resources. He wants to gain all that himself from his resources. You know what I'm saying? It's right, not being a keeper at home. Okay, I'm gonna let the Hamites take care of my dirty work. You're still a part of it. If you track the trail, it still goes back to you.
There's something right. Also, the whole nation comes together to Jake. Yeah. Right, well, just like the Hungary, the Hamites, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, they all come together to draw consent to basically destroy Jacob. Right, and that was over in Africa. Wherever Jacob is, comes together to oppress you.
Okay, average, you're gonna get it. I think that you're gonna, because you have around, you're gonna get it. Done. That's right. Regardless of what?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, more here. Yeah, there's more. I wanted to look up 13, 14, maybe. Okay. Maybe the last
Jump down.
Oh, you have to drop. Where are you? 6 now?
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So verse 7 says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man and every man's heart shall melt.
Bring it up. Yeah, just in regards to what Esau himself. This is Sirach 14 verse 3, and it says, "Riches are not comely for a niggard, and what should an envious man be with money? He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods riotously." Right, so Esau kind of tells well, hoarding everything for himself, yes, leaving the people without to the point where they know they don't have anything for themselves, right? So that's exactly on a global scale because of their countries. Because where a lot of you trying to situate it, you actually have real riches. You just read food from somebody who's corrupt and doesn't understand how to actually manage his property. Yeah.
So America is like so much when they scripture calls some most country with most debts. That was
Yeah. You get Esau.
Yeah.
You just learning it is very it's very.
So one says verse 8 says, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, they shall be pained at the woman that travaileth, they shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames.
That's what that's growing on man. They're gonna be like really like they're pregnant. Yep. Imagine that. How the fuck is that? Crazy. You know what I mean? Where when a woman's going through the water for a bus, like the attractions coming in. That's gonna be yep. Edomites, right? You other nations come, all right?
Yeah, I've seen them. It's no joke. They be doing like they actually do like in and out of consciousness. Be like we pay until they come back. They go like look at
Yeah, so imagine that's what's going to be happening. The Lord's going to put that spirit upon them.
all around. They look so much like chaos and horror things like look, it's like you let you back out, man. And you're gonna lose your ability.
To add on to that, the Lord's going to put that on pride for them. Yeah, then that actually can't get over something. I might talk about elite, man, like the elite. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people that actually thought they were somebody in this world. Those low level people that may have some form of status or whatever. That's what the Lord's gonna put that up on men like that. That's right. Yep. Thought they were the best. You know, like they're the top guy off whatever.
War.
Yeah.
Good one from Mitchell, right? It says Psalm 73:6. It says, therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Yeah, right? That's what that pride leads to. It's going to lead to destruction. Well, just destruction.
Brothers, I was having a quick one. We're reading from the passage, the Bible, always true.
Go ahead. It says verse 9 says, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashiach shall come through both the wrath and fierce anger to lay the land desolate and it shall
the real cruel Lord.
right.
You know? Esau is a cruel Lord, you know? Trump is a cruel Lord. Real cruel Lord, right?
That's right.
Wrath and indignation.
That's
Righteous
right.
anger.
That's right.
Righteous judgment.
That's right.
The judgment that's necessary to balance the earth. Okay?
That's right.
Esau judging and is not never righteous. Esau has never made one righteous judgment. Man. I don't care.
Yeah.
Maybe he did, but I don't want to hear it.
No,
That was one. That's what I'm saying. Not one Esau made a righteous judgment.
Yeah. Recently, I was on the radio that they came up with this like they brought back this animal that was supposed to be extinct. But the entire one like that. I put the like like really good.
Yeah.
So you spend like all this time and effort and all this energy to basically bring back something that was supposed to be extinct.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take care of the stuff that's already here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm going to actually take care of something that's here like something don't go extinct. I put like lines like you got chemtrails and all these things. Yeah, that,
Basically messing with their habitat.
yeah, exactly. Right.
There's a way to actually take care of the trees and stuff, but don't cut it and make down.
Yeah.
If you cut it down, you don't plant it, you don't use the bill, you don't care.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother. You saying something?
Yeah, then like put up on the condos, so they turn like this, they turn like the whole like there's some point they turn paradise into a parking lot.
Yeah.
You know? Put up all this concrete and everywhere, like to where like you can't even like when you have like so like you have like a dog, the dog is actually on the grass, right?
Yeah.
But the dogs can't find any place actually, actually like really
Right. Yeah.
so there's like concrete everywhere, like everywhere you go, it's concrete with like cement. That was the rest, man. That's supposed to be breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have the dogs here all over down Toronto.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. It's horrible.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
It's a disgusting thing that you don't work.
So it says, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh, shall come with cruel, both to right and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, but he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Jeremiah 15, verse 3. And it says, I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, a sword to slay, and dogs to tear, and fowls of heaven, and beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Just talking about the animals too. What's common in this society is about like zoos, and we have to keep these animals trapped up so long to the point where a lot of these animals are going to enact their own laws on these people, right? And when the Lord has ways where he's going to get a lot of these people on judgment, right? Because a lot of people these days they have dogs in their house. They're therapy dogs. They use these dogs to feel their own emotions on. Right? These dogs are supposed to be outside and running around and all that good stuff. It just shows you the Lord's judgment is going to take place wherever it takes place. Like, there's no hiding. He's not trusting justice.
We still have we said that we found wild cats in America that there is wild. Because they have freaking from Tiger King.
Yeah.
There's lots of those kind of people that in America, man.
Yeah.
They have different wildcats all over the place.
Yeah.
Farms of wildcats. There's land, like this land is a big place, right? So you're not gonna really go into all that, but if you're somewhere in Nebraska, or some random state, nobody really did. You have a big, you know what I mean? Land. You have all type of wildcats here. The Lord just ready to take those against it.
There's animals that we have like you get away. Happy actually to say that creatures are being made. That's just what that says about.
Keeps going, it says, verse 10, it says, for the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give their light, the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Look to the Lord's are open,
Yeah.
and it's gonna fail you. Yeah, your AI, right? That's the stuff that celebrities, right? LeBron James, right? Your idols, right? All that's gonna fail, man. Sure. No, they gonna have no answers. They have the answers in a sense in this world. Like, because they're of the world, But when the world fails, then what? You're trying to say what answers they're gonna have. They all they do is the world. They didn't know what to say when the world is taken away. The Lord destroyed this place.
And there are a puppet in the world too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they were a puppet in the world. So imagine, right?
Daniel 2:1, and it says, and in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake him. Then the king commanded all the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream that my spirit was troubling to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans, king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. So I'm reading this to show that those people at that time they weren't able to give the interpretation of the people's dream, right? And just like in this time, these people like they look to acted, they look to LeBron James, they look to comedians, answers. They don't have essentially the interpretation of what's going on right now. They don't have the prophecies. Just say that the Lord given this service the prophets, right? So these people in the world don't have that. They don't have the answers, like comedians said. They don't have the answers, right? You look at people, the Israelites are looking in the wrong places for the answers, right? That's pretty much
You was sounded all you like this one. All you know is like what your enemy told you. All you know is what your person told you. You don't know anything else. It's like when the bats go out when that so pandemic pandemic counts you know to chat, go do that. Yeah. So that's all you know, that's all you know what you told. And every time to like find out like you know that's something that's personally right and like just take it even. I'm saying it's one side, man. Like I think like it's like counting in jumpers, you know, people passing over the bus. We, you know, out here we count like what the answers are. Yeah, you know, because you're rebellious. You know what you say makes all the sense. But I'm supposed to hide in this video. This thing, this Jack woman with the father. Might have been basically kicking out of the house because she was being true to the rebellious. Yeah. But if she actually, but actually being what the Bible says to do, looks like being virtual. Oh man, yeah, this is actually again. Right. That's what's supposed to be. That right there. It's a problem, bro.
Yeah. Remember that one video? I think it was like a year ago. We were talking about it, where the girl, the African mom, was having a problem with her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the UK. Yeah. But really, she was supposed to be married off to the man.
That's it.
At that time. But that's right. At a certain age, really, a woman out there, right? When you have daughters, your daughter starts acting like a bitch towards you. Really, she needs to be married off.
That's right.
To her man.
That's right.
Okay, to a man, a righteous man. That's what she needs to be married on to. But because we live in this chaotic society, you know, you have to house your bitchy daughter for longer than you need to. Yeah, she needs to be under the management, under her man. She doesn't want to be under your management. And this world is so fucking wicked. And these men now, they don't even know their own role. Right? Because when it comes down to the man, right? Niggas just want to get something and bounce. Right?
Can't handle responsibility.
Yeah. No, it's fucked up because a lot of young men, right? They're trying to go for the kill at a certain young age, right? Well, at their young age, they can find virtues, right?
That's true.
Like you young men, you can find virtues. So when you niggas are going trying to get the kill, and then fuck off, you don't have no wisdom, no wits about you, you don't know what to do with her for real. You just go for the kill, and then you caught her. Yeah.
You already been probably working, right? You already have that mind of a man, so like when you go do whatever you do something, you're like, okay, now you're repeating, right? And then your dad, obviously, we're not the same skill, but your dad would be a homie and he's teaching you, like, okay, now what is you gotta do? Hold up. Since everything's out of order, it's complete chaos. So even in that scenario where the woman, like the mom was supposed to bring the woman to the man, he would have brought a fucking demon to another man. Now he has to deal with it. She was raised the wrong way. You see, and he sounds very smart. That's what he did it with psychology.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if people are saying this is not the truth, then just kick rocks.
Yeah, that's
All take your life. Because the Bible is all about order. Right?
yeah, exactly.
Like, if people have a problem with order. That's what it comes down to. You have a rebellious. You have guys like Ringo having a problem with the 12 tribes side.
Yeah.
So whatever, you have a problem with that, bro. You're okay being ruled under the so-called way, right? Just understand that the Lord put a mark on you.
7, verse 24, and it says, "Hast thou daughters? Have a care over their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have born a weighty matter. But give her to a man of understanding." Yeah, that's the key point, right? That they might get them, but they don't know, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I function? Where do I go? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good to have that spiritual understanding first, and then acquire, and then eventually you get to it, you keep working, and you acquire physical substances. I mean, spiritual substances is really most important. Because it's what we say that wisdom is principally, right?
Even if you can like marry a home, especially I mean, you're supposed to have a promise for that. And that which knows I have a friend really like 18 years old. She has like a she has a goal to achieve. She has basically she has somebody in mind. To go, okay, so I'm this person. Same thing like when Jacob was working, like he did work for 7 years for Rachel. So that time, like Rachel knew, okay, this is my girl that I'm supposed to be. So I'm gonna put it to. Because you can't marry her off, at that age, you can listen out for her. No, okay, this is not the one for you. So basically, like, this is one is supposed to be thinking about. It's like when we talk about it, yeah, comes, it's like
Because she be watched over by her father.
Exactly.
She wasn't out and about in the street of liberty. But guess what? The compound that she lived in, it allowed her to walk around her compound.
yeah.
You can go for a walk in her compound. Because it's her own private property under the father. Yeah, the father's private property. And she would allow her, hey, go for a walk. Let's just coop up in the house all fucking day. That's what these people think.
Chains to her legs.
Yeah.
She can't move
Yeah.
far.
Well, yeah, the freaking Space Jam.
Yeah.
They tied the thing to him,
Yeah.
and he couldn't move. That's what you think is going on, right? Oh, well, she wasn't got abroad in the city though. She wasn't out and about for all eyes, every man to see her, and lust after her. So it's social media is wicked. Yeah, and high school is wicked. College, university is wicked. Okay, elementary school is wicked, right?
Well, that's what you're saying. You've seen those old like movies where you got like and stuff like that. Even when the princess went out, she had guards.
Right.
When she had guards, so anything anyone trying to roll or even try to rip, that's not happening. That's not happening. This was gonna cut that guy down. Yeah,
That's close.
yeah, that's the point.
Like, I think like, somebody, coming from like the eastern, from like Caribbean, from, like the east, so to speak, it's like that maybe with their uncle or the other brother, they walk around with them.
Exactly.
They're gonna be like a few steps behind them or behind them. Somebody, they have that escort. So, that way, that keeps getting checked, like, it's in life.
Yeah, because like it's like you going out with your woman, it keeps men in check. Or it's men think twice about approaching that woman. But when you're not with your woman, right? Men know that's free game. I'm gonna shoot my shot. They don't know. They don't know.
Well, it's like leaving your car with the keys in the car. Just leaving the keys in the car, the car's just there, just walking away.
Yeah.
You know what the-
This is not Dubai.
That's right.
This is not Dubai.
No, you can't do that.
And that place is wicked, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People like to say, "Oh, it's the most righteous place" because you can actually leave your car keys in the fucking
Those
car
are touching.
and nobody's gonna take it. But what the fuck else goes on over there? Right?
Exactly. If they don't want to get the car, what else do they do?
Yeah. What's the trade off? What's
That-
the trade off? People are fucking wicked. Why do they get this all too?
Porta body women.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, so your girl is going to Dubai. It's not like that's yeah. As far as English.
Oh, let me see.
I got a quick one. Yeah, look, just mention you mentioned on belly. So Deuteronomy 9. Okay, you know what? Let's start that. So that's 3. Deuteronomy 9:3 it says, "Understand, therefore, this day that the Lord thy power is he which goeth over before thee as a consuming fire. You shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face." That's what we're going to do to our enemies.
That's why we want order, because all this chaos is going on. We don't have rulership over our women, our children, our own lives. We're not sovereign here. People who are to bring that judgment. Because once we get that, we get sovereign. We get sovereignty under the law. Right? This earth is ours. Everywhere on the earth is the Israelites. That's right. You get what I'm saying? You want to have that inheritance back. Right? Right?
So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly.
That's righteous. Read that.
As the Lord Yahweh has said unto thee, speak not thou in thy mind, after that the Lord thy power has cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness the Lord hath brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of these nations, the Lord doth drive them out from before you. Right? So yeah, the Lord's gonna do this because he needs to be wicked. Right? You saw we're talking about the Babylon, the reason why they're coming down, they come to say before the Lord don't gain a position. That is, you can say that's part of it. The real reason is because they're being wicked. Because of their being wicked, the Lord has to put someone righteous. It's like what happened with Canaan, right? Before we went to there, Joshua, what did he do? Because that's why they had the Lord left them there to be wicked. So when he came with Joshua, then he could come slay them. Because they're doing shit from beforehand, but he didn't come to kill them. He said, no time, right? Wait till the time when we had to go in the line. Joshua was one of brought up. And he's like, it's time for you. You're gonna kill these people and take the line, right? So the Lord will set people up, right? We'll set you up. Verse 5 it says, not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thy mind, right? Lest thou go in possess their lands like them, but for the wickedness of those nations, for the Lord thy power to drive them out before thee, and that he may perform the word which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? So the Lord made a covenant, made a deal, made a oath. And he said he will do this. So if he says he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it. Verse 6. Understand therefore that the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. Right? So let's come here to the point we're talking about. And this is stiff-necked. Right? You guys have that rebellious nature. Instead of remember and forget not how thou provokest the Lord Yahweh while Yahushai thy power to wrath in the wilderness. Don't forget what happened in the wilderness. Right? The Lord saved you from Egypt, a place of bondage. Right? Brought you in the wilderness, saved you. Then you guys start complaining. Don't have leaves, don't have doves, don't have to honey, bread, and milk. And yeah, I got to know that. Right? What you guys do when it's built God? All that went back. That's why this time is only getting to life. It says,
Go back to my initial point of, like I said, like in America, if you're a Jake, 1/3 in America, good chance of salvation. But Jake that's outside of that line, that's pretty much done. Just the elected, say whoever is used to them. And mainly it's going to be the rock side. The friends of the prophets, the family members. That's really who's going to be beamed up if the Lord allows it. It's up to his discretion. You could have family members and the Lord's in their weakness. They're not coming on. Yeah. They're coming on this chair, they're gonna play, you know what I mean, right?
yeah,
They're coming on this chair.
you have to be okay with that.
You gotta understand this is the constant war, right? Casualty. But we know that at the end of the day, you're gonna see that family member. Exactly. That's what we do.
It says, yeah, there's the last one. It says, how thou provokest the Lord, Yahweh Yahushai thy power to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt until you came to this place, ye have been rebellious against the Lord. Right? So he said you've been rebellious from the beginning. Right? So you have that nature of rebellion.
Like this, like, you want to know how like this, like how people, they just, they are, they don't really have any answers. Or basically, they try to find answers, they try to go to find for answers, and they cannot find it. I don't give you any answers. What it does is it's like as far as you want to basically help you to where what they have problems, but yeah, you have that there, man. And there's nothing that you can do to solve it. What is it now here to the answer? Well, right? You know the answer already here for you. And he's actually to the house, but after me, he's actually going to like Empress. Also, business after being one on the morning, going back on the up to the temple of Empress, right? When they had that, we didn't know them. I was on that one to this day. So it says right here, so for second Ezra 10 verse 20, it says 31. Says, for thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed, our sorcery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence, our rejoicing is at an end, the light of our candlestick is put out, the ark of our covenant is spoiled, our holy things are defiled, and the name that's called upon it is almost profane. But our children are put to shame, our priests are burnt, our Levites are brought into captivity, our virgins are defiled. That's a way too. That's what here our people, there's no, back then, our women community, the way we just say, it's society that, it's really like loose, you know, that the people don't even actually, don't want that to have
Value, yeah.
value.
There's no value to virginity.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? That's
Right?
that's one in a sense like money because not to say it's money behind that, but money behind
Yeah,
it.
that's your money. Right.
I know, but
Yeah, that's your money.
that's your money, man. It's your
Value.
yeah, value. Man. Go out selling this value this. Yeah.
Well, after what you're saying, the funny thing is, because I've encountered these younger women like in their 20s, they actually believe, I heard them saying from their own mouth, they actually believe that a man wants a woman that's not a virgin. They want a woman that's with experience. They with experience. They don't want a woman that doesn't know have an experience. That's what they actually think. They think that we want women that have experience. Right? I'm saying that listen to this, but
Yeah.
but men in the world actually do think like that.
So they do, but and the reason why is because I mean like porn,
Exactly.
yeah, a portal.
Pornoia.
No, that's a demon.
Yeah. Exactly.
It gives you a false sense of what sex is, a false
Yeah.
sense of sexuality. So it's false. That shit is acting. That shit is fake. That's not real. I shouldn't see on the screen. That shit is not real. Not the real deal. You get what I'm trying to say? Like the real fake. That's a lot of what they call it dramatization. Right? And that's what fucks up men. That actually that perverts men too. But that also perverts the woman as well. So everybody's getting perverted. No? Because there's certain things men are supposed to know and certain things women are supposed to know and not know. You get what I'm saying? Like you're not supposed to see another man's drive. Man. You going on that shit, you at another man's drive. You're not supposed to see that shit. A woman not supposed to see that shit either. She's supposed to see her man. That's it. See what I'm saying? So this place is all out of whack. Nobody puts a value on her. That's why it's called this place.
Like I'm saying, it's kind of like branching off, but that's why it makes no sense to try and find a woman in society. No, really, it's a stupid, it's like trying to go into a grocery store that is decaying, all the foods are decaying, and I'm gonna look for a friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The Lord knows where the fresh food is. He knows where it is.
Right.
But you don't know where it is. You're not gonna be able to find it.
Right.
So it's very just focus on the Lord, be a good servant, he'll bring that fresh food to you. It's like the time I said before. Right? Because you're not gonna find it. Please spot. Can't find that.
So it says, it says, our Levites are gone into captivity, our virgins are defiled, our wives are ravished, right? And the other thing here in society, we to wear like they have like like emojis and like all these like rock parties, right? So like swingers parties and all that. You know, yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like watch the rest party, watch the rest party.
Yeah.
Like you get married to get married by you want the wife, but your party has she had one thing.
Yeah. It's a bitch that apparently I don't know how true this is trending on social media. But the bitch said she got cancer. She told her boyfriend she got cancer. And she broke up. Oh yeah, it's 100 days before she died. Yeah.
Oh, I think I heard about that. Yeah.
That's trending on social
I heard about it.
I heard about that.
That's the type of world we're living.
Joe point.
Yeah. Even like certain countries in Africa, they have like this like before you get married, like they treat you right or basically they help you they do things where like the aunties different see what against the opposite man, see how much you get. So they can vet you. They can vet you.
I heard about that. Yeah.
That's wickedness. No? Especially they want to see like how we should use sometimes this a man, but that's for people. That's not that's between a man and woman. That's not you.
Yeah, because, yeah, and how the mom should culture certain things in terms of this is what to expect.
Yeah.
All right. But from there, it's on the man now. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mom might say you gotta do this, do that, whatever. But from that, so she's aware that okay, there's certain things that
Yep.
and then from that is the man's job to coach his woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
To satisfy.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
If you buy a car, like if I buy a brand new car, I buy it from the lot, I bought it online, I got Chevrolet, whatever, right? I bought that car. I'm gonna go pick it up, and I find out it had like 7 owners beforehand. It was I think brand new. This is a brand new car. I paid for it. And 7 guys already driven the car. And
Yeah.
what? The fuck?
Exactly. That's it.
Like, what? You're gonna be pissed off, but that's only because we're in the truth. You understand it. But then in the world, they're like, oh, 7 cars. Okay, I'm not. That's like
That's already know still.
yeah, exactly.
Slow guidance. 7.
Right? And we have to think like that now because you can't find a brand new car like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, obviously, I'm not talking about a car. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Also, the same thing too. The other point, like even when they have like all these body parts, they compare each other with the past drivers.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
You know, and they can't really be satisfied because they always comparing it to the X9, the XX9. You know, so it's like, there's no satisfaction. There's no there's no choice.
Yeah. That's why Isaiah 4:1, when that happens, all of them be dead. Those are all of them be fucking dead. So when you get that woman, she actually doesn't have a connection to people. They're all dead. I mean, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
I don't know they're gonna. So many things are gonna take it
It takes away the reproach in
Exactly.
sex.
Yeah.
But that's spiritual, bro. But you're right. Because she ends up finding you Isaiah 4:1.
Yeah. It's
One of
actually your wife.
previous lovers are dead.
Exactly.
That's no long too. It's supposed to okay, next time.
Right.
Get my dates.
That's right. Yeah. Previous lovers are dead. Yeah, technically she's good, I guess.
Okay.
Second Ezra 16, verse 33. And it says, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegroom, the women shall mourn having no husbands, and the daughter shall mourn having no helpers. In wars shall the bridegroom be destroyed, and her husband shall perish of famine. That's going to happen. War, dying war, right? And a lot of people years that up with lifestyle. I don't know, what does that lead to? That leads to death, right? So find it real manhood in this society.
It's good for us.
Yeah.
Good for us.
This well, it says our righteous men carried away our little ones, destroyed our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And which is the
No, I was just saying, bro, man, not as not like the way they used to. Our fathers used to understanding. When you think about a lot of the older men in our nation, they have they're more like they're like George Brown, basically. They have a lot of understanding of life and counts for other ancient sons and daughters, right? They're not they're like Homer Simpson, right? A lot of weak, a lot of them are following after their women.
Yeah.
Please up, Jay, get me.
It's a simple son.
Yeah, that's true.
Simple.
Yeah, but what they're wise rule.
Yeah. That's the scriptures.
Oh yeah, 13. So back in Isaiah 13, verse 10 it says, "For the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give their light, the sun shall be darkened, it is going forth, the moon shall not cause the light to shine, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low haughtiness of the terrible."
Like I said, not just the that big word, because everybody wants to be like the from the poor to the rich, right? No, it's really said that poor, most part talking about like not Israelites as a whole, but that a low destitute state, they're still proud. They're proud. They feel like they deserve this and that. But people that are rich too are assholes too. You know? You know what I mean? It's like poor want to be the rich. But the rich can test the poor. But the poor want to be like the rich. The rich, they're assholes. Same as the poor. No?
Just like everybody for himself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Everybody for themselves.
Rock 25 verse 2. And it says, three sorts of men my soul hated. I am greatly offended at your life. A poor man that is proud,
Yep.
a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer that don't it.
That's right. Poor man, that's a lot of people out here.
And that total this people being frustrated with this being like actually then but this guy only also that we can get enough.
Yeah, he's that deep. It's like a drug. At that point, it becomes a drug. Ultimately, but that's the fix of this world. That's the spirit the Lord created certain people to have, right?
Says to be excessively fond of someone or something, or to exhibit mental decline, especially in age. Yeah, the precept.
I was just gonna add a little bit of adultery. The reason also why it's like it's also a drug is because like, you commit adultery, they're falling off the cliff. That's the last like everything else was to warn you and stop you from doing that. When you do that, that's it. That's it. You're done. Like it's adultery, murder, right? Those are those things. What does it say in the scripture? We shall surely be put to death. There is no like, okay, I'm gonna give you a warning. No, that's you're done. That's why I'm saying it's a drug. Once you get to that point, it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. Like murder, you're gonna do it. You can adultery and keep doing it. You're someone that has to be percentage.
Yep. So here's verse 12. Verse 12 says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of all fear.
That's right. There's going to be a lot of men that actually have this understanding, right? And there's a lot of our people that are very, very wicked, right? They're not actually doing and maintaining a righteous conduct in society, right? Our people are they're wise to do evil, but it's good they have no knowledge, right? That's why they don't have very strong refuge. Actually had that refuge.
That goes also like because in Isaiah book was wrong, it says like saying you shall take only 1 minute. Oh, and it won't be an elected Israel. It's not the only religion. They don't have like how that we support themselves. You know what's going on. This is we found reports to be stable. Nobody else have this to be doing fucking up. No? All that thing that's all talking about law. I don't know what we do.
We can't wait for that.
It says, verse 13 says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place the wrath of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. It shall be as the chest roll, and as a sheep that the woman taketh up. Chest roll, just like once like a prey animal that's being preyed, you don't hear it because like you hear like a animal that's being preyed on, maybe also preyed on too. Basically, like you see someone, you see example like when this people like going, when people thought like that great, oh, this is like food, or something like or you have a certain element or a certain like what I say, a sickness or this could be supposed to sickness going on away from people. So this is something like in society. It's like I want to somebody that has income. Has like what's going on. All these people that have like they have like that population now, they have like all of them now. Not they all of them gone, man.
Wisdom from all of them. That's right. That's what we broke here. Right. We're just gonna Lord can do this. Look into doing this themselves, learning little things. I started by myself, but Lord, nothing for the Lord to put in your mind. And there was times I started fire, right? And that's outside, right? Yeah. We're gonna have some last week parties, start to dig it down, right? Different thing, but you guys gotta say like relying on faith. Oh, you can rely on faith. Yeah, you are 1,000%. Somehow, some way, right? You don't know, right? That's what you feel, right? But people are gonna see that the Lord is dealing with you. That's why they're gonna want to roll with him. Whatever you have is far above gold and precious metals. And you have life. They're gonna see you have life. That's the number one thing, that's a main thing people want to survive. People gravitate towards life, right? But it's because we didn't care about our lives why we have life. People are seeking the life now. Yeah.
That's what Abraham. He wanted to have how much go. Abraham, God's plan. Just to set up who's coming down in the future. So you're going to see that. It's probably happening to brothers right now. The stream, most people stream coming around.
They said, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land.
Yeah, that's all you get for me. Pressure. Start where we're all the different nations. South America, right? Talking about China, Paris. Chinese are gonna go back to the land of China. Right?
Yeah, right.
Koreans, whoever he saw put a tariff on,
Yeah, right.
and the Americans feel that you're taking away from their freedoms. You're the reason they're not getting a pay raise. A lot of these, these fucking deals. You have home back in Nutland, you guys gonna flee back here.
Yeah, right. And it's already happening right now. Like, yeah, these people that come to Canada, then they come here, they say, oh, this is what I mean.
Right.
They want to do it better, like,
At least they live longer there.
yeah,
Right? They probably get a sink, You had a dwelling. You might have just been wearing some sandals and shit, whatever. A little bit of dirt in your feet. But that was nothing to get out of your foot. You wash that off. Start again next week. But you know what I mean? Like,
A lot of these people think that you have to have this. Like we just live here. This is what it is. This is our prison. We gotta just write out our sentence. This is what it is. But if you have a land, just go back, man. It's probably better off there than here. The food's probably better. You know?
Totally. When you're talking about things, you buy that condition, you buy.
Right. Exactly.
So, what for you? All that stuff like Boston, so like,
Right.
now it's all about rituals, but it's not part of that ceremony.
All that. We can shut up.
And also, a lot of our people, especially a lot of people who ask come over there, and then it's going away, and then they realize they don't have much, and they realize, oh my goodness, we just pay taxes, exactly, right? And I actually had more substance where I was originally. And then when you come here, you realize all your money is gone. It's like, we toss it with a naga, you sow it with it, and you put your wages back into a bag of holes. Right? You realize all your money is gone. All these different taxes that you always have to pay every week out of that comes out of your paycheck, right? And it's like, and okay, at least the plot of land you had was actually yours. Yeah, you say you actually had blue lands, do some gardening. You might have some sheep, some cattle, pigs, whatever that. That's really richness.
You need to survive. This is true, but like since like you didn't come in, they have to do. You lose their moral when you come here. We might come here like for religion, customs, and come here. They have to conform to some things. They have no choice.
Because their kids work farm.
Yeah.
Right? They have to sacrifice their daughters, and their daughters become yours. Right? For a better living standard. Thought it was a better living standard. It ain't always wrong much.
Just work your family.
Right? Morality is beyond.
50% this Jeremiah 1 verse 9 it says, "We will not kill Babylon, but she is not killed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone in his own country, for judgment, which is unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies."
That's right. Wickedness out of himself. Yeah. Like, oh my God, that's right. The union trying to invade the Israelites, take part in the controls and if your way of living, they're trying to blame us. We're wicked and take us away from our birthright.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what is these companies that use data to go to school, even though they don't get better education, and they end up trying to post. It's not like they're like they're great doing that. It's like, you bring your children here to raise up, and they end up being like that. I'm like, oh, baby, there's no, there's no that American dream is gone.
Because like back when we were growing up in Kenya, I think it was like strip clubs. Now, not only strip clubs are actually losing money now. You don't need to go there. People go online. That's this place is getting worse. Right? It's not getting better. It's getting worse. But the more depravity, the more the more shows, that's what I just mentioned about that wasn't a thing when you were. I don't even really remember that. Like I knew they were doing obviously, but like that wasn't like any kind of alphabet carry.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
I don't even remember about the whole black break. I don't remember that. Right? Now it's like no censor. Everyone come down. Bring your children, your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to learn to just walk off that shit. Because that's anything. I think you want to go. When the time is right. No, it can't be on our will. It can't be on our will. Higher power, things that they made themselves. That they, and then they deserve to be here. Like you just trying to say, you don't even know how you got here.
Big bang.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It says, verse 15, it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
That's right. Now, get a lot of home visits, a lot of home invasions. All right, but man,
And it means plural.
yeah, man is plural. I don't have to say men. I'm giving you some home visits during that time. Just said it. Getting ravished. Yeah. The text says, it's on ex lovers, right? People that just always admired you, you never gave them a shot, they know you live. Yep. All right, followers, right? Your followers on social media. That's right. Okay, your subscribers on OnlyFans. Yeah. All that money they want to come collect. Yeah. They spend thousands on you, they want to come collect all, right? They was able to hack in to get your address. Yep. It's not that hard. They come with a business, got your IP address or whatever. Then they come to collect. They got carousel rights. I mean, that's what you're saying also. Actually, you can get your social media. Yeah, they'll say, I mean, yeah, they'll put the location of the city you're in or stuff like that. Even like Snapchat, some people will have their actual location on Instagram. We just pulled that up not too long ago now. Yeah, yeah. Where you can put your location. I don't really recommend it. You know, that's just causing problems even amongst parents. Imagine that. You already know like these things all to keep you on up. I was watching Black Mirror, brother should watch it. The new series came out. Yeah, it's crazy. First episode. Oh my gosh. Nuts. Yeah, the pump. Nuts. Bro, that's what they want in this world. That's what they want to keep you on the grid. They want to keep you stuck here, man. Pinpointing your location, knowing your every move. Weird on it. We're all over. Jurisdiction is up. Yeah, it's not malfunctioning. Yeah. That's crazy, bro. Shit is crazy. The ads that you're stuck in. Same like ads. Yeah, the ads. Yeah. Yo. So basically, they put a chip in this bitch, right? She died. Yeah. Put a chip in her to bring her back. The man said, basically, doctor gave her all shit. She's not gonna be. She's unconscious, right? Yeah. Basically, she was in a coma. Yeah. She was in a coma after a collapse at school. Yeah. So Esau's weak ass. He goes like basically. Tech company comes to. Like, yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So basically, but it's a subscription service. Yeah, yes. So in order to keep going, it's like you have to pay like 300 a month. Yeah. If it's alive, and I guess they're already struggling on bills and stuff like that, so you have to pick up extra shifts. Yeah. You do a lot of weird shit to get the money. I'm not gonna go into it. You gotta watch it.
What you're saying it makes sense. Is that people doing that in real life, right? Exactly. You're trying to drag someone along with you when you should just let them go.
Exactly, and that was the thing. And if you watch the show, you'll realize you'll see what happens, bro. Watch that. Yeah, it's called Carbon. Yeah, that episode is called Carbon. People saying that this happens amongst people. Like common people. Yes. The way they presented this episode is like everyday couple.
Yeah,
So a lot of people would do this.
yeah, you're doing it right now.
Exactly that.
You got people that you should put up there, like, sticking around because, oh, I love him. You know, you're the good time. This person's a complete demon.
Yeah.
Right? It's not, the good time is very small compared to the bad. Only the pros and cons is more cons. I still want to keep this person around. And then you have problems and you go complain to your friends about it. Like, bro, you're bringing your own problems. Eventually, certain people are not going to be around you anymore.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even get this guy. He's doing the same bullshit. And then he has attitude problems. He's not doing it. So it's, yeah, it's funny that's called come on. Oh, I got, yeah. Revelation 3 and 5. Revelation 3:16 it says, but since you are, oh, yeah, sure.
That's crazy, bro. That's what I'm weird. Without the beard. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
shit now, right? Yeah, yeah. Shit. Look like
Because Revelation 3:16 KJV. Then because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I'll speak to thee out of my mouth. Because thou sayest, I am rich and rich with goods, and have need of nothing. And knowest
that's why you don't want to rich of this. You need to be in need of salt.
exactly.
Need salt like you ground already. Yeah, you need to deep right? You don't want to be at that level where it's like passion or yeah, and it takes you away from work. Because when you have a lot of money now, you want to spend a lot of money. And that's distraction from, or you have money, now you want to make more money. That's could be another snare. Exactly. Find out who you are.
And then the wrong people might be attracted to you because you have the money. The more snares.
More snares.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta use lots of wow. Yeah, yourself. It's hard for Jake to do that. Jake's been told not to do that.
Start.
Jake told his son and everybody else. Now that makes them attractive. Esau, you get me no son. Why does he life? He knows he has money. Nothing wrong with doing good to yourself, buying that up. Nothing wrong with doing good to yourself. So asking God to look make that this you and so you have certain nice things we don't I go through that got me this and you got that on your own hand that the Abash try. That's it.
Man, don't show it off.
Right.
Ask you go to all the time for this like that. Guy, I'm not sure. The guy is trying to he's like this like he lost. Brother, he gave his stuff up to him.
Yeah. Gave it strength. Yeah, that's what you saw with that.
Yeah, God, man.
We punk.
That's right. So this is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 13 verse 19, and says, give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy good to another. Lest he repent thee, and thou treat for the same again. The earth that get lost a lot more than you.
Yeah, it was a lot more than the game, lots of big things, right? All of it. Because didn't everybody want to play God? He wanted to play God, the AI company wanted to play God, right? They didn't want to let God make it to his course. Like let life do its course. That's how God intended. All right. Her lot was to knock out and become unconscious. That was her lot. You want to go against that, her lot. Like going against what the side provided. Now you're fucking up the algorithm. You're fucking up the ecosystem. Stuff. No?
It says, as long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any.
Right? That's right. Give yourself over to nobody. Right? Don't let no man have no rulership over you. No woman. Don't let nobody tell you what you need to do. Okay, I'm talking about wicked people. I'm not talking about righteous men and speaking, giving you good counsel and direction. That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about putting your life in a snare under wicked people. No? Being being groomed by drug dealers as a young child. You know, certain young men that get groomed by certain drug dealers. Shoot, man. You know what I mean?
Say it, bro.
Get the shoe because they don't got nothing, right? They're probably a single parent household, single mom household, Jacob.
Yeah, right.
She can't afford shit. And then whatever. Run this path for me, bro. Right? That's how it all starts, right? Just give you an example. Now you're in that snare. That man home. That's it. That's how you can't get out. A gift destroyed the heart. A gift destroyed the heart. Don't be taking no fucking gifts from no random. Right? Anybody giving you a gift, what the fuck is this for? What wickedness did you do? You understand? You ask me questions like, why are you giving me this gift? It's too fast. All right. What's your end goal? What's your end goal? You know? Why me? You know? Don't take no tips, man. Because people you don't fucking know. That's what judge ask questions. Right. Ask questions to try to figure out the answer. That's what Daniel did. Right. Yes. That's what you're supposed to do as a judge. Like that told you that. That's what you're supposed to do as a judge. Ask questions, question everything. Just because somebody said it, don't mean anything. You gotta have a mind of a judge. Study, filter through scripture, and describe it. Yeah, but you said that's what Daniel did. He was questioning these two individuals. As a society situation. That's what made Daniel trying to get to the bottom of things, cross-examine them, right? But our people are very, very simple. Understanding is simple. So believe every word, right? So when people like older, like a lot of older Jakes, like I had a little situation yesterday at work in regards to somebody telling them to eat more and telling them to eat rabbit. Right? But these guys don't have understanding, so they just like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, try that. Right? But Jake is so simple, they don't like, okay, they don't actually question what is being told to them. Yeah, right. That's basic. That's milk, really. That's basic knowledge to not eat that. You read Leviticus, you know not to eat that shit. That's not rocket science. That's not math that you can't find the answer to. You know what I mean? No. Yeah, I'm use that. Even AI will tell you that this parasite bullshit is. It might not say it's unclean though. It ain't gonna say it's unclean. It ain't gonna say that, but it's gonna tell you the you know what it caused. Yeah, by consuming it.
They don't say if you cook it to a hot enough temperature, you cook out all the parasites, but then they'll also say you technically can't cook out all the parasites. Right? So, yeah. No, it's like animals designed to be like that.
No? But no. You can do it. I'm trying to go. It's like,
Oh, Slack, yeah. Yeah, there was more. So Revelation 3:18 says, I cannot, it says, because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest that thou art wretched and miserable, poor and blind and naked. So we got a lot of people that think that they're good. Good position. Funny thing is, when they're in a bad position, you bring them outside to get out of that position. We're talking about that position, in the position right now. And now, like, yo, he's like, yeah, don't do that. We're fucking people. We don't know. We don't know. Right? I was, yeah.
Lord can strike you down. Man.
Exactly.
What's that? Spontaneous combustion. What do you mean you're good? What do you mean you're good? You're walking down the street and you just fucking spontaneously combust. Fucking kidding me? You're good? That's how I check. We're not anything.
Okay, verse 18 it says, I counsel thee to buy a new boat tried to fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be bold, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes, I saw that thou mayest see. So like the eyes are from the so look, right? And that the discernment, because then the discernment, you're gonna realize it can't be. Right? And somebody also, right? Our people said, don't understand. Don't act. You know, try to talk to Jake, try to get the truth. They say, don't act.
That's why you're not supposed to do the oil anyway. There, that's not a place that they.
Oh,
There are the job. You would yourself. You're Clark Kent. Yeah. You let it. It'll be a negative. You actually. Or somebody comes to you saying, "Come on, grab me, man." Oh, okay. Okay. That's it. You're saying, okay, okay. That's all. You know it's wicked in your mind. You already computed that. You know, that's it. You know, that's wicked. You know, that's too much. That's too much energy. Right? Save the energy for the front lines right here. You know what I mean? Yeah, you won't do that. Yeah. You know, there's somebody that likes to have fun. You can do that. There's somebody that just likes to be. You know, yeah, you like to root for people. You can do that, right? Right. If you're somebody that just likes to straight to the point, or just not even straight to the point, but just don't want no demons. Just no confidence, so to speak. Didn't physically harm you, not like that.
Yeah, it really depends on who. Sometimes I'll play with them, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, whatever
You
you.
know, cat plays in your food.
Yeah, yeah. How should I say? When they said, are you the king of Jews? I don't say yes, I am. I'm prepared for that. Besides, just what you say. Like that. Yes, I am. Right? He's like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's the answer. You got to get right. You know, we have the truth. We have the answers. They're not the truth to nobody. That's why we're quiet. That's why we're secure. People have a problem with our security. We're so secure in the time of insecurity. Right?
Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. There's more there. There's someone has something to say.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, the one?
Yeah, yeah. This is Proverbs 14:7, and it says, "Go in the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him collects knowledge." Comes under the knowledge of nonsense and knowledge.
Oh. Verse 19, Revelation 3:19. He says, as many as I love, actually, it says, I correct and discipline everyone I love. So be diligent and turn from indifferent, right? So if you're being corrected in yourself, right? It's not the Lord actually loves you. Actually, treating you like a son. Correcting you. So that guy that wanted before, rather, or didn't correct him. You care about it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not the first time this is lobby from the brought up to you. It's another person, aware of where he told him to eat something. He didn't listen.
And the rest of my prophet told me, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We don't know.
Somebody could have said they might have been an Israelite, but I mean, Israelite by blood, but not mine. Regardless, it was told to them. Exactly. The Lord told them to have 12.
That wouldn't be balanced if we didn't do that. We had to tell him. Listen. That was it.
The book about Job, 5 verse 19, verse 19 says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil catch thee.
Well, that's part of our security. But the Lord help to protect us with trouble. I search
Yeah. You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to pay to live here. You already paid to live here, but when you have that shit, 15-minute cities. That's what the show is pretty much going into. We're talking about subscription service.
Yeah, but
like that. You know?
There's a lot of stuff like we still probably that stuff that happened like city, civil wars, race wars. There's still stuff that has to happen. It's great. What's up with
Well, it says, verse 20 says, in famine we shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword.
That way, give all glory, praises, and honor to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakodash.
Kwame Asharala, Bad Bal, Shalom.
Shalom.
The time for Shalom, Banyaman, Shalom.
South Shore was it 42? Oh, 42.